If you feel like you're stuck in life, this video is for you. I felt so compelled to shoot this video that I dropped everything to I was working on work and stuff just to shoot this video because it's been on my mind. I gotta be honest, recently things haven't been really going my way. Like my EA recently quit for my business. I've been having a lot of relationship trouble. Just it reminds me of that famous quote by Mike Tyson, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And that's what it kind of feels. But unlike maybe a few years ago when I was like, oh my God, this sucks and all that, one of my good buddies, I was telling him about all this and he was like, dude, I'm so sorry for you, man. And I replied to him. I was like, you know what? Actually, I am very thankful for this, and it's kind of like crazy, right? Who would want relationship troubles? Who would want all these like business troubles? Like, I'm so stretched thin with my client and stuff right now, and like the YouTube channel and hiring and people burning out and everything everywhere. It's really, really, really messy, right? But I like to focus on not only what I have. I feel like that's very cliche, what people talk about. But something that really shifted my mind is like, oh yeah, these challenges are working for me. They're building me into a person I need to become. And so if I want to become athlete in my 40s, I'm going to have to go through hunger. I'm going to have to drop weight. I'm going to have to be better at jujitsu. I'm going to have to be better in the gym and with my diet. And this is the cost to be this future self. If I want to be a really great future partner, I'm going to have these tough conversations that I'm having. And just like there are relationship troubles that are going to test us, and it'll force me to become a better communicator and all that. If I want to grow this channel to 1 million subscribers or hit this revenue goal of 100K per month in my mind, I'm going to have to go through some setback. Things don't just come naturally. And if they were so easy, then I probably wouldn't want these things. And so something that has been on my mind is just really reflecting on these things are actually really, really good for me. And to not be like, oh man, life sucks. This isn't meant for me. It's like, this is a natural part of life given my life circumstances and stuff. And I just take a moment to reflect of how far I've come, where I'm kind of living the life I wanted at 25 in my late 30s. And I have a team now, and I have a sales team. I have like a YouTube team. And so much of my life has just changed in 1 year. And, I'm not sure how this relationship is going to go with this person, but, to think that, oh yeah, I'm kind of in a relationship again and like going through these trials and tribulations that all my other friends who are married, have kids, I'm a late bloomer, but all of them have gone through very, very similar things too. And so I think it's quite beautiful to kind of go through these mudda struggles, these growing pains and stuff. And I thank it so much. And even if all this does not work out for me, I just try to remember that Alex Hormozy quote somewhere where he talks about like the work that you put in, the challenges you put in, they actually build you more than the actual end product that you have at the very, very end of the day. And I think about this throughout my life where, in pharmacy, I felt this way where my pharmacy life gave me a lot of soft skills of like being able to read people, to tolerate people, to deal with assholes, to give me the anti-vision to want to quit, to being like, dude, my boss is a dick and I hope he dies and I want to build a better life, to time management and all that. My burnout really forced me to become a better leader, to outsource sooner, to take care of myself a lot quicker, me gaining a lot of weight. And look at my photos from like 10 years ago really inspires me to, hey, my previous body, it was possible and I can get there again. It took me a long time to get here. I think I had to unprogram at least like 30 plus years of like, the childhood stuff of my dad and like him not treating me too great at the time, to like getting into personal development after pharmacy school around like 25. I remember someone asking me about Tony Robbins. I was like, who the hell is Tony Robbins, right, at the time? To actually doing the work, working with coaches, going through business, quitting pharmacy, going through heartbreak, going through my loser era in Vegas and stuff. And I am just so thankful for all those experiences, and even the breakups, like with friends, family, all this sort of stuff too. I'm not gonna lie, it can hurt sometimes when I think about how much I sacrificed to get here, right? But was it a sacrifice? Because at the end of the day, I kind of got what I wanted. This is the life I wanted. Those people, they mean a lot to me, but I'm sure that they're in a happier place, or I'm hoping they're in a happier place too, whether it's the ex-friends, ex-people. And I just kind of learned, right, this kind of, I always think about this term where they say inshallah, which is like God willing. And I think about how little control we have over things. And yes, we want to do our best. Yes, we want to take what we have in control and have a very internal locus of control, right? But sometimes you just have to let off the wheel and just be like, hey, you know what? If this person doesn't respond to me, inshallah, if God willing, right? Because I have done this amount. If I chase this person or if I really try to go harder, it's not going to help the situation. And so the reason why I say these stories, by the way, is just to remind you that if you're in a tough time, just remember that these tough times are just temporary. They're a season. They're not forever. I was talking to this one high ticket sales girl, and she was like, man, I hate being broke. I hate being poor. And I told her, like, dude, you're going to look back at this and you're going to be like so happy that you came from that humble beginning. You're going to look back at those moments and be like, man, I've came so far. And to not extrapolate your short-term challenges for your long-term vision. And that's something I'm constantly reminding myself. I'm constantly journaling about it. I'm constantly trying to rewire my brain not to be like, well, I'll be very real with you. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this fucking shit sucks. But when I kind of slow down and go for a walk, I'm like, man, I'm really grateful for a lot of these things. And I think about my dad passing away and how I'm grateful for the time I had for repairing my relationship with him. I think about the time with our family dog who just recently passed away. I think about the times with my grandma back in the day and like how I got to live a really great childhood, like even if it was at McDonald's and Cantonese school and all that sort of stuff. It's been really, really cool, and I can't ask for anything more. And as I leave off with this last thought, I think as I think about through this relationship stuff that I'm going through and then through the business stuff that I'm going through, I try to remember that that all this will be temporary, and whether it works out, whether it doesn't work out, at the end of the day, everything will most likely be okay unless World War III happens and we all die. So hopefully not. But at the end of the day, like I like to think that the creator out there, God, universe, or whatever, is throwing these challenges for us, not against us. It kind of reminds me of this Alex Hormozy video where he talks about the blacksmith and all that, and how, great things are forged through fire and the hammer and all that sort of stuff too, right? And people always say pressure makes diamonds, but I like to think about the challenges that we go through, we endure, that are the things that transform us to be better in the long term. Okay, that's enough yapping. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, my people. Bye.